This is part 2 of the series Carbon Cub from Horizon Hobby versus FMS Super Cub. Now we finally got out to fly the Carbon Cub today, and I can tell you that it flies very well. It just floats up in the air. You can tell that it is a little lighter than the FMS. That's not necessarily an issue. I do like, however, that the prop is a little bit flexible. The reason I can tell you is I might have caught it on some bumps or some dirt, and we decided to turn it into a lawnmower, and we have zero damage. Whereas I've broken many of these props because they are much more rigid and much more sturdy. So the props do really well. This thing flies off the ground really well for not having flaps as well. Some of the issues I found, while it does fly very well, take off and land very well, the problem lies with this battery cover on the bottom. I had it come off once. It's just a very thin piece of plastic. It's not secured very well, and the battery's always pushing down on it. Even if you have that Velcro in there, it's not the best. Also, the landing gear doesn't take much to bend those just little wires that they have on them. The foam tires do okay, don't get me wrong. They actually do pretty okay. All in all, this thing flies really well. I like the quality of the remote control. It seems way better. The Spektrum DXS controller with the Carbon Cub is fantastic. Now, if we go to the FMS 1300 Super Cub, I think it's got just a little more weight. I have not weighed these, but it does definitely have a longer fuselage. That equates to a little more stability up in the air, as well as that extra weight. Just you can feel it as you're flying. It's a little more stable. To get it to float as good as the Super Cub, which may be because of the vortexes, you got to put your flaps down. We'll put a video in here so you can see this thing floating. It does awesome. It does have the vortex kind of built into the EPO foam up here, but all in all, I do like the rigid props. I feel like they have a ton of power. The air-filled tires are key, and they're just a little bit bigger than the foam tires. And this spring landing gear is amazing. When you're coming down too hard, it actually takes quite a bit to bend those. Stability on the wings is much better with the FMS opposed to the Horizon Hobby, which you can see mine are just kind of loose hanging there. But realistically, the foam is pretty much the same. I do like the battery cover in this one. The gyro, I can't really tell much of a difference. This one sounds worse than this one, but we're still playing with these things. Both have steerable landing gears right on the tail draggers. These things are actually a whole lot of fun. So we're going to start comparing, turning the gyro off and seeing how controllable they are, how responsive they are. So we're going to continue the series with the Cubs, Horizon Hobby, Carbon Cub SS, FMS, Super Cub, PA18. Also, the controller that comes with the FMS is not a bad controller. It's a little more basic. I do, however, like that you can reverse controls in case you accidentally hook something up. You don't have to dig in there and reverse connections or anything like that. You can just reverse your rudder here if you have to. Realistically, super easy to turn the gyro on and off. And then you have your flaps right here on the 3 position. But all in all, they are very comparable. I still think for the price, you're getting better bang for your buck on the FMS PA18 Super Cub. So stick with us. We'll put out some more content on Cub versus Cub. Thanks for coming.